Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our English Learning Podcast. I am Anna.
And I am Lucas. Ready for another great episode?
I certainly am. It is so wonderful to be here with you today. Before we even touch the stack of notes and research we have on the table, I want to invite our listeners to do something. Just something very important. I want you to just take a deep breath in through the nose and then out through the mouth.
Okay.
Relax your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. Just imagine we're sitting in a very quiet, very comfortable coffee shop.
I like that.
Maybe it's raining softly outside, tapping against the window pane, and we have warm drinks in our hands. You are safe here.
That sounds absolutely perfect. There's actually a fascinating scientific reason for setting that specific scene.
Really?
Yeah. In the field of linguistics and education, we talk about something called the affective filter.
The affective filter, what's that?
It's a theory from a linguist named Stephen Krashen. And essentially, it suggests that when your anxiety is high, when you're stressed or, afraid of making mistakes, your brain puts up a kind of wall.
A wall.
It blocks input, so you could hear the words, but they just sort of bounce right off.
That makes so much sense. I mean, that explains why we freeze up when we're nervous.
Exactly. But when you're relaxed, like in our imaginary coffee shop, that filter goes down. You become permeable to new information. You absorb language much faster and much deeper.
Right.
So we're not rushing today. We're not drilling you. We're just talking, and we want you to be part of that conversation.
No stress, no pressure. That is the rule of this deep dive. Now, looking at the roadmap we have here, based on our source material, we have a very special journey ahead of us.
It looks like a big one.
It is. We're going to cover a wide range of essential life skills in English. We've broken our discussion down into 6 specific segments. We'll go from talking about the fun things, like hobbies and talents, all the way to the serious practical stuff.
Like emergencies in medical situations.
Exactly.
It's quite a comprehensive journey. And our mission today is, I think, very specific. We looked at the standard textbooks, the vocabulary lists, and frankly, they can be a bit dry.
A little boring, yeah.
We're not just going to read you a list of words. That's not helpful. And it doesn't really help with retention. The brain remembers context and emotion. So we're going to explore these topics through conversation, through role play, storytelling, and we even have a little game to play at the very end to test our logic.
Oh, I love games. And so true language is a tool meant to be used to connect with people, not just, inspected under a microscope in a lab.
Precisely.
So let's begin with something lighthearted. Let's start with segment 1, hobbies and talents. The big question here is, what can you do?
What can you do? It's such a seemingly simple question, isn't it?
It is, but it's loaded.
It is. Socially, it's doing a lot of heavy lifting. When you meet someone new, maybe at a party or a networking event or even just waiting for a bus, this is the finding common ground phase. It's social glue.
Right.
And the conversation usually gravitates toward tangible skills, musical abilities, creative arts, things like playing the guitar, playing the piano, painting, or cooking.
It's a way of saying, who are you outside of your job? And music seems to be a universal language within that. Or singing.
Singing.
Singing is fascinating because it's the one instrument you don't have to carry around in a case. It's part of your body. It connects people instantly.
It does.
Speaking of which, I have to ask, in our pre-show notes, you made a rather bold claim.
Oh, did I?
You wrote down that you have a special talent. Can you actually sing?
Oh, absolutely. I claim to sing very well.
Yeah.
In fact, and I say this with zero humility, I think I have a voice like an angel.
Like an angel?
A very loud, very confident baritone angel.
Really? I am, let's say, skeptical but very curious. The listeners are curious too, I'm sure.
I bet they are.
Would you mind demonstrating for us? Could you sing just a few notes, just a sample of this angelic talent?
Of course. I never turned down a chance to perform. Let me just prepare my instrument. Oh, okay. Deep breath. Diaphragm engaged. Focus the resonance. Here I go.
Okay. Ooh, breathe.
Wow. That was certainly distinctive.
I sense a hesitation in your voice. I assume your silence means you're just stunned by the raw power and beauty of my talent.
Stunned is definitely the right word. It was unique, very energetic. You certainly have volume. But I think this actually brings up a perfect linguistic distinction we need to make.
Oh, here we go.
We should talk about the difference between being good at something and being terrible at something. Because confidence does not always equal skill.
I suppose that's fair. Maybe I'm actually terrible at singing. Perhaps my angel is a bit tone deaf.
Just a bit. But that's the beauty of hobbies, isn't it? You don't have to be a professional to enjoy it. However, if you do want to be good, the source material highlights the reality of the learning curve.
Right. It's not a montage in a movie.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's not like you get better in 3 minutes. It takes time.
It does. Let's look at learning an instrument, like the guitar. The guides we reviewed mention the physical toll, which I think people often forget to talk about. It isn't just about reading music or knowing where to put your fingers. It's about the body adapting.
Yes, there is a specific physical challenge mentioned, finger pain. And it's a great metaphor for learning English, actually.
How so?
Well, when you first start playing the guitar, you have to press these metal strings very hard against the wood.
Right.
Your fingertips are soft, they hurt, they blister. It is physically uncomfortable.
But eventually, something happens.
Exactly. You develop calluses, the skin gets harder.
And the pain goes away.
Right, the pain goes away.
That is such a great point. It highlights the necessity of long-term practice. You can't just pick up a guitar and be a rock star in a week.
No.
You have to endure the finger pain. You have to practice every day until the skin gets tougher. And it's exactly the same with speaking a new language. It feels uncomfortable in your mouth at first. You feel silly. Your tongue doesn't want to move in that way. But you have to keep going until the calluses form.
Until the neural pathways are built.
Exactly. Until it becomes natural.
Precisely. It's all about neuroplasticity and muscle memory. Consistency is the magic ingredient. Now, not all hobbies are, active or performance-based like playing music.
True.
Some are more passive, but deeply intellectual. We should talk about collections. Do you collect anything?
I used to collect stamps when I was younger. It sounds a bit old-fashioned now, perhaps.
Classic hobby.
But I loved it. It was a nice way to see pictures and history from different countries without leaving my house. Each stamp was like a tiny window into another culture.
I love that. What about the examples from our source? It lists stamps, coins, and shoes.
Shoes, yes.
Yes, shoes. I mean, sneaker culture is massive right now. It's a fascinating evolution of collecting.
It really is.
It shows how hobbies change with the times. Some people have hundreds of pairs of limited edition sneakers that they never even wear. They just keep them in boxes, pristine.
And coins are the classic version of that.
Right. And it's interesting because collecting is usually about knowledge, history, and the thrill of the hunt. It gives you something specific to talk about when you answer that question. What can you do? Or what are you into?
It's about appreciating the details. And speaking of details, specifically the details of pronunciation, I think it's time for a little challenge.
Uh-oh.
I want to test your pronunciation skills. Since you were so brave, albeit misguided, with your singing, let's see how your articulation is.
Oh, no. I'm nervous now. Is this a test?
It's a tongue twister. For our listeners, a tongue twister is a phrase that's designed to be very difficult to say quickly because the sounds are all very similar.
That's right. Yeah.
And this one is a classic English challenge. It focuses on the sibilants, the es and she sounds. These are often very hard for learners because the tongue position is just slightly different.
Okay, I am ready. The es and she requires a lot of precise tongue movement. What's the phrase?
The phrase is, she sells seashells by the seashore.
Okay. That is tricky. Cells and shells. The tongue has to move forward for the es and then back for the she very fast.
It does. So I want us to practice this specific phrase 3 times. We have to do it very slowly and very clearly so our listeners can hear the shape of the words. We are not going for speed here. We're going for precision.
No speed. Got it.
Ready?
I am ready. Let's do it together.
Okay. 1. She sells seashells by the seashore.
She sells seashells by the seashore. Very good. I can feel the difference in my mouth. It really forces you to pay attention.
It does.
Let's try again, focusing on the distinct she sound in seashells. 2.
Okay. She sells seashells by the seashore.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Perfect. 1 last time. Enunciate every single sound. Don't let them blur together. 3.
Okay.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
She sells seashells by the seashore. Phew, that actually requires a lot of cognitive load. You have to really focus on seashells versus seashore. It's a mental workout.
You did a great job. Much better than the singing, if I may say so.
I will take the compliment, however backhanded it was.
All right, let's move on to our second segment. This is a very practical skill for anyone traveling, and honestly, it's one of the most anxiety-inducing parts of being in a new city.
Oh, for sure.
Segment 2 is all about asking for directions.
This is essential. Even in the age of smartphones, people still get lost. GPS signals fail. Tunnels block the satellite.
Batteries die.
Batteries die, yes. We need to start with the core vocabulary. The words you absolutely need to know to navigate a city space.
Let's listen. The absolute basics are the vectors: left, right, straight ahead.
But directions aren't just vectors, are they? They're about the environment. The anchor points?
Like what?
Traffic lights. The map. The corner.
And the feeling of being lost. That is a vocabulary word itself. I am lost. It's an admission of vulnerability. It is so important to be able to say that clearly.
There's an interesting analysis in our source material about the shift from, analog to digital navigation. Be honest, do you mostly use Google Maps or do you ever use paper maps?
I have to admit, I rely very heavily on Google Maps. It's just so easy. It tells me exactly where to go step by step. I almost turn my brain off, I'm just following the little blue dot.
Most people do. Psychologists call it cognitive offloading.
Cognitive offloading.
Yeah, we let the phone do the thinking for us. And that's actually a problem researchers have found. We're losing our mental maps of cities because we're just following a blue line. But our source brings up a critical emergency aspect of this. What happens if your phone battery dies?
That is a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, if my battery dies and I'm in a foreign city and I haven't been paying attention to landmarks because I was staring at my screen, I suddenly have no idea where I am. I'm completely helpless.
Exactly. And that is why you need to know verbal directions. You cannot rely 100% on technology. You might need to perform a social interaction, asking a human being for help.
And that brings us to cultural etiquette. This is where it gets tricky.
It really is.
How do you approach a stranger? You can't just walk up to someone and shout, "Where is the bank?" That is aggressive and rude. It triggers people's defenses.
It's way too direct. You need what linguists call phatic communication, words that smooth the social friction.
The magic phrase.
You need the magic phrase, "Excuse me."
Excuse me? It's so soft. It's polite. It signals that you're about to ask for a favor, but you respect their time. Excuse me, could you help me?
It disarms the person. It makes them want to be the hero and help you. Once you have their attention, then you need to understand landmarks.
Yes. Directions are rarely just left or right. Humans don't think in grid coordinates. We think in objects. Usually people use buildings to help you. It's next to the bank.
Or opposite the cinema.
Opposite is a great word, but it's often misunderstood. It means across the street from, right, facing it.
Right, not next to it.
I think the best way to explain this confusion and how to overcome it is to, well, act it out. Let's do a role play.
I love role play. What's the scenario?
Okay, so we're in New York City. The pace is fast. I'll play a busy New Yorker. I'm walking fast. I have a coffee. I'm late for a meeting. I am not looking to chat.
Okay, and I will play a tourist. I'm completely lost in New York. I'm looking for the train station, and I am starting to panic because I need to catch a train.
Okay, let's set the scene. Imagine the noise of traffic, sirens in the distance, people rushing by. I am walking down the street, checking my watch, walking very briskly.
Action. Excuse me. Sorry to bother you.
Oh, yes. Can I help you? I'm in a bit of a rush.
I'm so sorry. I am completely lost. Can you tell me where the train station is?
The train station? Oh, sure. You're actually not far. Listen carefully.
Okay.
You need to go straight ahead for 2 blocks and then turn left.
Okay. Straight ahead and then turn right.
No, not right. Left. Listen to me. Turn left at the big bank. The one with the blue sign.
Okay. Left of the bank, blue sign. And then?
Then you go past the cinema, keep walking, and it's right there, opposite the park. You can't miss it.
Okay. So, past the cinema, opposite the park. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck.
End scene. Phew! See? That was stressful. I kept confusing left and right because you were rushing me.
You did, and that happens all the time. When you're nervous, your cognitive processing slows down.
Yeah.
Left and right are abstract concepts, and they can get mixed up in your head when a New Yorker is staring at you and checking their watch. That is why repeating the landmarks, like the bank or the cinema, is so helpful.
It confirms you understood the context, not just the direction word. It gives you a visual anchor to hold on to.
Exactly. Now, getting lost is stressful, but it usually isn't dangerous. However, our next segment is about situations that can be truly serious.
Yes.
Segment 3, at the doctor in emergencies.
We need to shift our tone a little bit here. This is vital information. This is what we call survival English. If you get sick or hurt in another country, you need to be able to communicate accurately. Ambiguity here can be really dangerous.
Let's look at the critical vocabulary first. Hospital. Ambulance.
Fever, cough, medicine, pharmacy. And the most important word of all, help.
We also need to know who to call. I mean, in American movies, Everyone calls 911. That's the number in the United States.
Right. But it is not universal. In Europe and many international locations, the number is 112. It's so important to know the specific number for the country you're in before you need it.
You should put it in your phone. Write it down.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And we should explain when to call these numbers. This is a cultural norm, too. You don't call 911 for, a runny nose.
No, you call for life-threatening emergencies. If there's a serious accident, a fire, a crime in progress.
Right. If you just have a cough or a mild fever, you go to a doctor or a pharmacy. You don't clog up the emergency lines.
Speaking of going to the doctor, there's a nuance in English grammar when describing pain. It confuses a lot of learners because we have two different ways to say the same thing.
Yes. The difference between using a verb and using a noun, this is where English gets a bit picky. For example, you could say, my head hurts. In this case, hurts is the verb, the action your head is doing. It's throbbing. It is hurting.
Or you can say, I have a headache. Headache is the noun, the thing that you possess. It is an object you're carrying.
And you can't mix them. You can't say, I have a head hurt. That's just incorrect. You can't really say, my headache hurts. That sounds redundant.
So it's my head hurts, or I have a headache, my stomach hurts, or I have a stomachache.
Exactly.
It is a small detail, but it makes you sound so much more fluent.
Let's try a role play to practice this, but let's make it a diagnostic challenge. I want to test your ability as a doctor to deal with unusual patients.
Okay. I'll be the doctor this time. You're the patient. You've come to my clinic because you're not feeling well.
Okay. I am the patient. I am feeling very strange. I have some, let's say, highly unusual symptoms.
Action. Good morning. Welcome to the clinic. How can I help you today? What seems to be the problem?
Hello, doctor. I feel terrible. I need medicine immediately. Something is very wrong.
I see. Can you describe your symptoms for me? Does your head hurt? Do you have a fever?
Well, doctor, it is not just a fever. I have a purple tongue.
Excuse me. A purple tongue. Did you, eat a lollipop, perhaps?
No. And my hair. Look at it. It's turning green.
Green hair. Sir, I think you might have eaten a crayon, or perhaps you were turning into a cartoon character.
And my feet. My feet are dancing by themselves. I cannot stop them. Look at them go. Tap, tap, tap.
Okay. This sounds very serious. I think you need to go to a circus, not a pharmacy. Or perhaps a psychiatrist.
And scene. Sorry, I couldn't resist making it absurd.
That was very silly. But it actually highlights the structure perfectly.
How so?
You said, I have a purple tongue, I have green hair. Even if the symptom is impossible, the grammar remains. I have, followed by the symptom.
Exactly. I have a cough. I have a fever. It's the same structure, whether it's a cold or a magical dancing foot disease.
Hopefully our listeners do not have green hair, though.
Hopefully not. If you do, please call 112 immediately. Or the circus.
Let's move to something a bit more mathematical, but equally confusing for learners. Segment 4, time and numbers.
This is often called the tricky part. Numbers seem easy because they're universal, right? 1 is 1.
Right.
But the way native speakers use them can be incredibly confusing.
Let's start with telling time. We have digital clocks and analog clocks. Reading a digital clock is easy. You see 3.30, you say 3:30. Simple.
But in conversation, we often use traditional phrasing that dates back to before digital watches. Instead of 3:30, we say 3:30.
Half past. It means 30 minutes, half of the hour have passed. It's a spatial way of thinking about time. You're visualizing the clock face.
And then we have the quarters, quarter past. That's 15 minutes after, so 3.15 is 3:15. It requires you to do fractions in your head while you're speaking.
And don't forget a clock. We only use that for the exact hour. 3:00 is 3 o'clock. You never say 3:30 o'clock.
That is a very common mistake. A clock stands for of the clock. It's an old phrase. It acts as a definitive marker for the 00.
Now, what about dates? This is another number challenge where reading and speaking are different.
Dates use ordinal numbers, numbers that show order. We don't say July 4, we say July 4th.
December 25 is incorrect. It is December 25th. You have to add that the sound at the end. It's subtle, but if you miss it, it sounds wrong to a native ear.
It signifies order in the month. First, second, third, fourth.
Then we have big numbers, specifically money. This is vital for shopping or negotiating.
Oh, yeah. There's a big difference between $1,500 and $15. But to a learner, 15 and 50 or 1,500 can sound very similar.
Visually, it's the placement of the comma or the period. $1,500 is big. $15 is small.
You have to listen for the word thousand versus hundred, or the stress on the syllable. 15 versus 50.
Let's do a quick drill, a pop quiz. I'm going to ask you, what time is it? And you have to tell me the time using the traditional phrasing. No digital reading allowed.
Okay, I am ready. I am looking at my imaginary analog watch on my wrist.
What time is it now? Imagine the clock says 4:30.
It's 4:30.
Correct. What time is it now? Imagine the clock says 2:15.
It's 2:15.
And one more. What time is it now? Imagine the clock says 8:40.
It's 8 o'clock.
Excellent. You passed the quiz.
Thank you. I'm glad I know what time it is. Being punctual is important in many cultures.
And knowing the time is important so you don't miss your train, which leads us perfectly into segment 5, travel mistakes.
The nightmare trip. We all have stories about this. The anxiety of travel is that you're out of your comfort zone, and usually you're tired.
The key words here are scary. Passport, wrong train, late, forgot, luggage.
Losing your luggage is a classic travel mishap. You arrive in a new country. You wait at the carousel, watching all the bags go round and round. You see a red bag, a blue bag, a green bag, but never your bag. It's a feeling of total helplessness.
Or missing a flight because you were late, or getting on the wrong train because you didn't understand the announcement over the loudspeaker.
Oh, those announcements are hard, even for native speakers. They're often muffled and fast.
They are, and these things happen, and often they happen because of language barriers. You misread a sign, or you're too afraid to ask for clarification.
One of the hardest things is ordering food when you don't speak the language. You look at a menu, and it's just a list of words you don't know. No pictures.
And this connects to cultural etiquette, too, like tipping. That is a minefield.
Oh, tipping is huge.
Yeah.
In the USA, tipping is, well, it's basically mandatory.
It's expected.
It's expected because it's part of the waiter's wage. If you don't tip, it's considered very rude.
But in Europe, it varies wildly. In some places, service is included. In others, you just leave the change. If you're a traveler, you have to know the local rules, or you risk offending someone or wasting money.
Yeah.
Speaking of food mistakes, I believe you have a personal story about this. The infamous spicy food incident.
Oh, yes. I have a very distinct, very painful memory of this. I was traveling in a country in Southeast Asia. I was exhausted and very, very hungry. I went to a small, authentic local restaurant.
That sounds lovely. Authentic is usually good.
It was. But the menu was entirely in the local language, no pictures, no English translation. And the waiter didn't speak a word of English.
So what did you do?
I improvised. I used the point and hope strategy.
The classic.
I saw something that looked like a soup on another table. It was red, looked hearty, lots of vegetables, and I pointed at it. I smiled at the waiter enthusiastically.
A solid strategy, usually. Point and smile.
Well, the soup arrived. It smelled amazing.
Yep.
I was so hungry that I took a huge spoonful immediately. And instantly, fire. It wasn't just spicy. It was volcanic. It felt like I had eaten the sun. My face turned bright red. My eyes were watering. I started coughing uncontrollably. I was sweating.
Wow.
The waiter came running over with water because he honestly thought I was having a medical emergency.
And it was all because you couldn't read the word spicy on the menu?
Exactly. I couldn't read warning. Extremely hot.
It
was a painful lesson. But now I always learn the word for spicy, vegetarian, and water before I travel anywhere.
That is a very good tip. Create a cheat sheet of important words. Spicy, allergy, bathroom.
It saves you a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And it shows respect for the local culture that you at least tried to learn a little bit.
Well, we have covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about hobbies, directions, doctors, numbers, and travel disasters. Now we are going to end with something fun.
Okay.
Segment 6, the 20 questions game.
This is our interactive finale. The concept is simple, but it's a powerful tool for learning logic and question formation. It's a guessing game.
Here is how it works. I'm going to think of an object. I'll just hold it in my mind, and you have to guess what it is.
But I cannot just guess random words. I can't just shout, is it a car? Is it a banana? I have to ask yes or no questions to narrow down the possibility.
Correct. You can ask things like, is it big? Or is it an animal? This forces you to categorize the world.
Okay. This is a great way to practice question structure using auxiliary verbs. Is it? Does it?
Are you ready to play one full round?
I am ready. Do you have an object in your mind?
Yes. I am thinking of the object right now. I have locked it in.
Okay. Let's start broad. This is the binary search strategy.
Yeah.
Is it a living thing?
Yes, it is a living thing.
Okay. That eliminates all furniture, cars, and buildings. Good. Is it a person?
No, it is not a person.
So it's an animal.
Yes.
Okay. Is it a small animal, let's say? Smaller than a cat?
No, it is not small. It is very big.
Okay. is a very big animal. Does it live in the ocean?
No, it does not live in the ocean. It lives on land.
Big animal. On land. That narrows it down. Does it eat grass? Is it an herbivore?
Yes, it eats grass.
Big land-dwelling grass eater. Okay. Does it have a long nose, like a Trump?
Yes. It has a very long nose.
Is it an elephant?
Yes, it is an elephant. You guessed it.
Hey, I did it.
Good job. You used great questions. You went from broad categories, living thing, to specific details. Trunk. That is exactly how the game works.
It's a simple game, but it forces you to think about categories and adjectives. It's a great mental exercise.
And it's fun. You can play this with anyone, anywhere. It's a great way to kill time on a train or in a car.
Well, I think we have successfully completed our mission for today.
I think so, too. Let's briefly reflect on what we covered. We went from your memorable singing
I'm still waiting for my record deal.
to serious medical terms like ambulance and pharmacy. We helped a tourist find the train station by navigating New York, and we learned how to differentiate between $15 and $1,500.
It really shows the variety of language. Language is not just one thing. It isn't just a textbook. It's navigating the world. It is how we survive and how we enjoy life.
And stories and role plays are the best way to learn. They make the words stick in your brain because they attack emotion to the vocabulary.
I want to offer a final thought for our listeners, if I may.
Of course.
Language is more than just words and grammar rules. It's about connection.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about it. Asking for directions is about trusting a stranger. Playing music or telling a joke is about sharing joy. Even buying medicine is about asking for help when you're vulnerable. Language is the bridge between you and other people. Without it, we're all just islands.
That is beautiful. It really is about connection.
So as you practice, don't just memorize the list. Imagine the person you're talking to. Visualize the connection you're trying to make.
That is great advice. We encourage you, our listeners, to practice the 20 questions game on your own. Find a friend or even just play it in your head.
Take your time, speak slowly, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Even if you order the spicy soup by accident, it makes for a great story later.
Thank you so much for joining us in our quiet little coffee shop today. It was a pleasure exploring these topics with you.
Thank you, everyone. Keep practicing and stay curious.
Goodbye for now.
Bye.